know what goes on. So our general manager in charge of scanning, that is Mr. Joojo Morrison, will take us through that presentation. Thank you.
Are we still in the morning?
Yes, we are.
Good morning. Okay, so I like to always mention my own name because I think I pronounce it better than anybody. My name is Joojo Morrison. Okay, so this part of the presentation is a spiritual part. Yes. My other man said that ICUMS is like the anatomy of a human being. The scanning division is the spiritual part. You will have to be gifted to be able to work with us. Yes, because it's very, very technical in nature. What we basically do is we do scanning of cargo. And the scanning is more like an X-ray. Now, basic reason why we do scanning is we know how agents work. Given the chance, they would clear goods without paying duty, right? Now, modules for charging duty are the cost of imported goods, quality of the goods, quantity and all that. If you are able to beat on all these, your duty comes down. Given the chance, you will declare low quality goods for high quality goods. For example, the duty you pay for marble tiles is different from what you pay for ceramic. Given the chance, our people will declare ceramic when it's marble. These are some of the examples. They will under-declare quantity just so that the duty will be low. So this is where scanning comes in. Now, if you take a 40-footer container and you ask a custom examiner to inspect it, it would mean that for him to be able to get the right quantity, the correct quality, and all other parameters, they will have to unstock the whole 40-footer container. Then you can imagine how long it would take for a whole 40-footer container to be unstocked in a day, and times the number of containers they can do in a day. Now, scanning that we do is called a non-intrusive scanning. Non-intrusive is that we don't even open the container, it comes through our system and we are able to tell what is in there. We have shortfalls because definitely it won't be able to tell us the quality. So yes, every container that is scanned, after that, it's opened and the quality is verified. But we are able to, as much as possible, give you the quantity by calculating the length and breadth, multiply by, and we are always getting it right. Now, what other tricks they adopt to is, for example, if you give a cracked agent the chance, you put a 4x4 car in there, deep in there in the 40-footer container, and pack other heavy things in front of the car, you know, all the way to where it will be open for examination. Now, even if you open and you start unstuffing, halfway to the container and you are stuffing the same thing, you might end up saying that, hey, it's just one item, but you might have a 40-footer container in there. So yes, the scanning division is connected to all the other security agencies. Now what we are doing at the port is we are scanning 100% every container that comes in. We call it the evacuation containers. When they land, they come through the scan, we scan them, and then we keep them. Now when custom needs them, and they are working on them, then they come into our system and get the images. By which time we would have treated them, and then we'll give them advice on it. We work basically for the customs. So yes, over the time, sometimes even before they start working on any container, we're able to tell them that, look, we scan this. We don't know because they come with manifest, and they are not full documentation for the containers because they have just been released by the shipping lines, so the documentations are not ready yet. But then we advise them, hey, we scanned this. We have seen 2 cars in there. We have seen this. These are 3 line items. So if the document comes and there's no mention of a car, you have an idea already. These are basically some of the things that we do. Let's zoom in. Scan is also a wholly owned Ghanaian company, incorporated in 2003. We started operation in March 2004. And we've been running non-stop till now. So I think we are in our 18th year. We have expanded, in fact, we have been in Sierra Leone and we're currently in Gambia as well. So that's as far as we're going, and we're still expanding. Currently, we have about 160 staff members. Now, just like in my intro, it's non-intrusive, so we don't even contend with the things in there, except when an examination is going to be done to verify the quality. Now, there are two basic components of the scanners. We have the gamma ray and the X-ray, or the neutron. Now, the scanning community, or the manufacturers of scanners, are trying as much as possible to do away with gamma ray, because it's another form of radiation which is very difficult to control. I won't go into details. We provide new customs, scanners to customs as they direct. We give customs periodic training. You know, it's a custom area, and so intermittently we give training to them to get them, because when they do recruitment and you're an officer who has been released, it's very difficult, because you know trust is an issue in this area. It's very difficult for Mr. A to release a container that has been analyzed by Mr. B. You know, what goes into image analysis. And of course, yes, every time they are releasing, images are sent to any of their posts, so they can walk into any of the outlets to see the images for themselves, to verify for themselves on what decision has been taken on what image. Now we maintain the scanners and the equipment for customs as well. And for these 18 years, we've been maintaining and running all the scanners. These are the scanners we have in our system so far. Now, in Tema, we have the Century Portal, which is a scanner from America, from the American Science and Engineering. That's why you see the rapid scan ASME. This scanner scans 200 containers in an hour. You know, so if this scanner is 44 seconds, the container will run through and I'm doing this project. Now, in the old days, we had to key in container numbers, track IDs and all that before a container comes into the scanner. This time around, we have an OCR that captures image containers even before it gets to the scanning area. So track ID is captured, container numbers are captured, and even for 20-footer containers, it captures colored in a different way. So we have a way that copper will be colored, we have a way some metals are colored. First of all, the reason is it makes it easy for image analysis. So anytime a scanner is a dual energy scanner, it is very easy to analyze, because even before the image is analyzed, we have an idea of what are in there, organic or inorganic. And so this, and we measure that in strengths, mega electron volts. These are the potency of the radiations that we use. So in order not to have congestion, when the evacuations come and the big ships come and they offload the boxes, they are hot guys, right? So then you have an idea of the yes, yes, all right. So when the boxes are let out, Big Brother Sentry does all the work. In case you have a problem with Big Brother Sentry, maybe 12, 15 days old. And usually we have a problem sometimes with, and Junior Brother was able to even handle the traffic. So these are the two that we have in Tema. In our flower, we have another Chinese scanner called the FMP, which is a fixed moving branch. This is a bit different, a bit older and different. What it does is, why this is faster? It's faster because it's a drive-through system. This one is a fixed moving branch. The country systems, what it does is, and usually the country systems are a bit dangerous in emission. So what the country system does is, when the truck comes and it parks, the driver is asked to leave the control points. So when scanning is done, he has to walk back and go and move his truck away. These are reasons why these ones are not able to scan as many as the drive-through ones. And you know some of these trucks we have in the system, some are so old, if you ask them to leave, they forgetfully put up their engine. They come back and to spark the engine, it takes hours. So unfortunately, these are some of the reasons why gantry is not as fast as the drive-through. So this is what we have in Aplao. In Boglo, and also another side of Aplao, we have another MD scanner. In Takrady, we have the same as what we have in Aplao. But the good news is that there's a terminal coming up in Takrady, a private terminal. This is the hotel, the Ibistek.
Abistek.
Yes. They are developing Takrady port just as has been done at the Tema port with NPS. And we have located the place where we're going to put two. The bi-directional is tops of all. I mean, there are two of them in the world. In Ghana, we have one.
Yeah.
Yes, we will start blowing our horns when the installation is done. It's a bi-directional. So whichever direction the truck is coming, we will scan and we will still get image. And it's a fantastic system. We are fixing the bi-directional Takrady. In Paga, we have a bus scatter van from same Americans. It's a van. It's a Benz van that does the scanning. The good and fantastic thing about this van is that, one, you can even drive it to the cargo to scan because it has an inbuilt generator. And the radiation it emits is just 200 keV. Do you understand? So even if you are flying, the cosmic radiation that you get is even way times higher than what this one gives, and it gives perfect image. The classic thing about backscatter image is that whilst linear is a drive-through, am I going to technical? It's fine. While linear is a drive-through, it's a pass-through radiation system detection. This one goes through the image, it captures the image, and then there is a backscatter of the radiation thrown back into it. So usually, this kind of inspection is good for the borders where concealments are done in the upholsteries of the cars and the car types and all that. In the linear ones, it is possible it will pass through, and because of the intensity, it will not detect. This one will pass through, come back and get an optional image to aid. So it makes it fantastic for, and it's placed exactly at the border between Ghana and Burkina. That's how come we have the CBB. Now we are at the airport. The airport has classic scanners in their own. They are not as big as the huge scanners that we have at the ports. At the airports, we have smaller size scanners. And the companies, in fact, we always try to go for the best companies. It's manufactured by Smith Detection, the Emma Minor, Smith Herman's company. They have classic 180 by 180 scanners. And the reason why we choose this for the airports are that, you know, the planes take the ULDs. That's the container version of port container for the airplane. They are much smaller. And the security at the airport is way higher. So what we do is, we scan every cargo that's carried away by the plane in bits. That's how come we use the 180 by 180. We scan them in bits into a biometric warehouse, and then we latch into a bigger size before the plane comes for it, according to the weight and sizes requested by the airlines. So that's how come we have, and we have 3 of them at the airport. What we have done is, we cannot have 7 rivalry cargo companies, because if a cargo is intercepted in UK, for example, and it was scanned by same scanner situated at one person's cargo house, there's a likelihood that you accuse the other of saying that yes, because you want to make that out of competition, you feel something. So what we have done is to place a scanner in every warehouse so that it will be binding by every cargo warehouse. So we have 3 of them, and the 3 main warehouse, cargo warehouses we have are Avions, Swissport, and AGPC. Yes. We installed the first 2 at Avions and AGPC. Swissport being the latest. When we're going to purchase, we realized that there is a pro version of the scanner. So we acquired the pro for Swissport. That's how come we have these ones. So these are the ones we have for, and available to as well. Yes, we have another mobile scanner at Elugo. It's also a van with an arm that stretches over a container. So what it does is when the car is parked, it drives over it and drives back, and images are acquired. There's a technology that we usually use, we call the throughput. Throughput means the mandate on who to operate it. But the police agree that yes, we have more experience, and so I'm sure by next week, the Commissioner General is going to give us a letter for us to take over to scan, so that cargo from Togo, because what they intend doing is, the Togolese are trying to move scanning or cargo from coming out through Aplao, which is their capital, through the back door to Akano. So eventually, our scanner at Aplao will be a white elephant. That's how come it is necessary that we start operating this, so that when it comes through the back door, we'll be able to work with that as well. Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
We're grateful if... Yes. Thank you. And,